the solution to religious liberty is not to find out what limits we need to put on the churches.
Right.
It's what limits we need to put on the state.
Yep.
We've got to fight this idea of an unlimited state.
Yes.
They send a letter to have cease and desist. So I called the Department of Education. I said, okay, you sent your letter. What do you do now? And they said, well, he has to shut the college down. We sent him a letter. I said, y'all don't know much about Baptist history. I said, our people have been burned at the stake, fed to the lions, shot by firing squads, drowned. We don't necessarily jump because we got a letter. Ball's in your court now. And I said, what are you going to do? I said, look, on our best day, Pastor Carter and I would not know how to tell you to train government bureaucrats. We wouldn't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But I said, on your best day, you do not know how to tell us to train missionaries and preachers.
Exactly.
So I said, you train the bureaucrats and we will leave you alone.
Yeah.
We'll train the preachers. You leave us alone.
Yeah.
They would bring this up and they say, you don't understand. I said, well, let me ask you this. You're the state, we're the church.
Yeah.
We're separate.
Yeah.
Well, part of that, do you not understand? That doesn't seem like a very hard proposition to get a handle on to me. That we must respect, defend limits on government, impose limits on government. And we're at a point right now where just the concept of limits on government has to be fought for.
Right.
Because that's almost unheard of in some states.
Right.
Just this week, Supreme Court ruled against an accredited Bible college out in Missouri that does not want to allow men and women to share the same dorm rooms. I can't tell how many times some government bureaucrats say, well, Bible says render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's.
Yep.
They never finish the phrase. Render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's. That is a legitimate Bible principle.
Yep.
But unto God, the things that are God's.
Right.
Which clearly implies some things don't belong, not implies, states, some things don't belong to Caesar.
Right.
Some things belong directly to God. Christ says, well, whose image is on the coin? It's Caesar's. Well, let's stick with the image illustration for a minute. Whose image is on your church? Your church is the body of Christ.
Amen.
It's not Caesar's.
Right.
Or, whose image is on your children?
Right.
All right, you can answer that two ways. Your children are created in the image of God.
Yep.
But also, very often, your image is on your children.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of children, you think, well, I know who your mom and dad are.
Right. Right.
And that's not Caesar's. Children do not belong to Caesar. The ultimate battle of the moment, and I think it's the battle that everybody should put at the top in coming elections. Every politician should be asked, who do you believe children belong to?
Right.
Society, government, educational establishment, however you want to phrase it, or their parents.
Right.
I'm not supporting any politician in any setting or any level that is not crystal clear that children belong to their parents. I did some things to try and help some of the Amish folks when I was in Indiana, and the state of Indiana was after them over their schools, and I would ask repeatedly government bureaucrats, whose children are they?
Yeah. Exactly.
But the president of the United States, within the last 2 weeks, just said these children belong to all of us, in justifying the mutilation of children for the sake of the trans crowd. We have a heritage of religious liberty because we have a heritage of people that fought for religious liberty.
Yes.
Not because we have a heritage of people who said, I don't really want to get in trouble.
Right.
I don't want any difficulty.
Right.
And we have to develop that again. And the reason people are starting to wake up is because the state's going so far.
Right.
People didn't think it would go this far.
Right. Right. Yeah, they kind of tip their hands on what they're capable of doing.
And I kind of think, I hope, may I be right before the Lord. I think maybe they went too far too quick, and they're waking everybody up.
Yep.